Hello guys, how are you? This is the second part of the build of the OcCre Albatros, a wooden ship. It is fantastic. I don't know about other companies, but OcCre's pieces, after measured, cut, and even the laser ones, they fall like Lego, if I can say this. It's very rewarding to cut a piece and know that it's going to fit. I really enjoy this kit. There's a few mishaps. I'm warning you now, guys. It's my first kit, so yeah, I've made a few mistakes on the hull. Even though I still like it, and overall the kit is a very good kit. It was only operator's mistake. So let's go to the second video. I hope you enjoy it. And if so, comment, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't care. Subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you more ahead. One thing I have to tell you, it's before starting the line to line the hull. Immerse the lining strikes in water for about an hour or so that wood can recover its elasticity, okay? And then start from the central frames, glue and pin a lining strake along the center of the hull with the pins, and line the hull on both sides simultaneously, i.e. for each strake fitted on the left side, fit its opposite, okay? Number on the right side. Use white glue for this process. I used white glue and a bit of CA glue on the bow. I tend to pull the strikes a bit harder. So if you want to look at this first lining, look at it, but don't follow me exactly, okay? I didn't follow exact rules here because I knew that this was the first lining. What I wanted was a nice and smooth surface for the second one. That was important for me, okay? And here you must line the hull, starting off the process from the first strake and working up towards the bulwarks. And at the same time, you must continue lining from the false keel up towards the first strake. I really hope I am saying all the correct expressions, because naval expressions are a bit too complicated for me, and sometimes I may be wrong on one or two. If so, point it on the comments below and I will correct it, and it's a learning process, guys. Each time you see a lining strike the same color, it's because it's wet. It's water, guys. As I told you, I put them in water, and of course the color is different because it's all soaked and wet. And here this tip just broke and I am just covering that little hole. How do you guys do it? Those of you who build ships, wood ships, how do you guys do it? I just don't know. You guys are so perfect doing this. I know, error and try and practice, I know. But even so, kudos. There's one thing I don't show here, and having finished the lining process, as soon as I finished, I sent down the whole of the hull and filed down the heads of the pins that I am using a file. Okay, it's important. You don't want any rough surfaces. The second lining is thin as a paper sheet, so you must do that in order for it to be smooth and perfect. And here you have to go to the instructions, and the instructions say that the piece number 27, which is this one, okay, and you don't know which kind of wood is the 27, so you go to the other sheet and you check for the number 27 piece, which you're going to need 2 by 4 by 320 millimeters. So you have to measure that board on the length of 22 centimeters. And you know that she is 2 by 4, okay? So you have to be precise, otherwise there are many similar strikes and you may use the wrong one. Oh, and you are going to see a lot of white on the hull. And why? I had this white putty here for wood, and I wanted to try. I saw some modelers on YouTube who do it on wood chips, and I wanted a surface as smooth as I could. So I bought this neutral color, and there are several colors also, and I just smeared it down on the hull, waited for it to dry, sand it down. Well, it was very, very, very smooth surface. Every small space between the strikes, it just covered it all up and made the whole surface better. So in the future, where are 2 linings, I'm going to use this. And we are continuing the lining of the hull from the false keel up towards the bulwarks. I wanted to say that being my first wood ship, there is a lot of things I am learning for the first time, and that is a very humbling experience. You think on one hand that you, because of all other plastic models you built, that you have a good solid base where to start, and then you start and you find you have to relearn everything. So it was a very humbling experience. It's very gratifying because you see something grow almost from the scratch, almost, okay? Not scratch built, but almost from the scratch. And when you think wood ships are very strange in one thing, you start and the build starts like a rocket and then stops, and you have to do the lining and you have to be very patient, but then it regains another speed, but then stops because you have to do the masts or the lining, or so you have to refrain yourself. You have to be patient. Each step has its own way. So it's a very humbling experience. And on the second lining, I did my best. It's not perfect. Well, it's perfect anyway, but it's not perfect. You know what I mean. And I see those YouTube modelers. I will put in the description below the name of some YouTube channels that build these, because I really appreciate, I learn a lot from those channels and those modelers. But it's not perfect. And basically it's because I use two types of adhesive, super glue and cobbler's glue. If by one hand super glue, it's fast and it's strong, on the other it doesn't follow the surface, the curvature of the hull, if you don't smear the whole surface with super glue. On the other hand, super glue may be liquid or in gel, but it's a piece of paper that you have there. It's thin as paper, the second lining, so it will absorb and will glue to your fingers, and that's messy. And if you use cobbler's glue at the minimal contact with the surface of the hull, it just glues and it bummer. So you have to be very careful. Either way, I'm pleased with this one. Here I'm using a wet cloth. You start to see the small imperfections on the hull, and I fell in love with that wood tone of the hull. Really enjoyed it. So much that I prematurely painted it with ochre dye, sapelli dye. I wanted to do that. I really wanted to do that. And just polished it. Applied cleaned the wood as much as I could, applied it, and it shines per se. I can only imagine when I apply the varnish. Absolutely amazing. And here on this step we're going to select the strips to make up the rubbing streaks and file down the strips and immerse them in water, okay, so that they gain elasticity again. Fit and glue the rubbing streaks to the hull using quick drying glue. That's what I did. The rubbing streaks must run from the stem to the upper stern, okay? Don't forget. Enjoying this video? If so, hit that notification bell and subscribe. It would give a tremendous help to the channel. Thank you. I really wanted to thank all of you who supported me throughout this year. It wasn't an easy year. I didn't post as much as I wanted to here, and you guys still support me here on YouTube and Patreon, so for that I am grateful. You do make a difference. Thank you. And now we are proceeding to glue all the limber boards into place, and after that we will sand it down using fine grain sandpaper. Now, I should wait until I finish all this section here. I really want to try these Sapelli inks, this colorant, this Nogel, and at the end, this satin varnish. But right now, I am debating on a question. I had to build this stern section here with this type of wood, this nougat wood, and the tint, the color, it's very, very, very clear. It's the same color of the deck, all of that, and no problem with it. Looks beautiful just the same. However, on the instructions here, I am confronted with this color, which I love it. And because of that, researching on OcCre site, I found also, I'm sorry about the reflections, I found also this. So what I'm going to do is right now is to paint this section here with this Sapelli dye here, this colorant. I am curious to see how it's going to perform. And I would also wanted to recommend some channels if you want to start on this wood models, guys. One is Spanish, it's Modelismo Naval y Maquetas. I really like that channel, it explains everything in a very clear way. John Aliprantis, which is, I believe you all know him. I don't want even start about Albatros. And of course Tom's Modeling in Motion. You know these guys and girls. Go there. Oh, and Harry Houdini also. I really like his channel. He's a very cheerful man, amazing modeler. Go there and send him some support because they all deserve it. You might say that having so much good references, I should have done a better work, right? I totally agree with you. And now I'm going to paint the interior and exterior sides of the limber boards using a marker pen, in this case a Molotov One for All acrylic ink pen. You might have seen me use this kind of marker on other ship builds, plastic ship builds in this case. They are very useful, tremendously accurate to use. And I really enjoy using these. So if you have the opportunity, try these and you will enjoy it for sure. And until now, it's what I've done. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Any questions, any suggestions, please go to the comment section, and if you lose 20 or 30 seconds of your life, of your time, typing something for me to read and to advise me on this, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Stay safe, okay? And as always, guys, keep modeling. Keep modeling. Always, always with a smile. Stay safe.